David was kind enough to come up with this really amazing topic. Actually, it's going to help you guys publish more content on your site, engage your members more, and a new revenue channel for your directory business. How to spotlight articles to your members. So David, if it's all right with you, I can pass over the reins and we can go through this tip of the week together.
Yeah, we've covered this in at least one previous tip of the week, but that was much more surface level, kind of just explaining the benefits of spotlight articles, how you can go about selling them to your members. But in this one, we really go into a lot more depth, giving you some benefits that you can just, hand right on over to your members, letting them know why they should sign up, what to include in the spotlight articles, how to make them effective, everything like that, all the important stuff. So diving right in, benefits, we'll just start right on the ground floor here of spotlight articles for businesses. What we'll be talking about is geared for business members, but these same tactics and ideas can be applied to any members. So first of all, having a spotlight article for one of your business members, obviously it will increase their online visibility, search engine ranking, hopefully get some more eyeballs on the business to attract new customers and generate more revenue for them. This undoubtedly would be the primary reason why any business would consider buying some sort of spotlight or feature article, would be to get new customers and generate more revenue. But also it enhances the brand image and reputation overall, especially when the company is then able to link out to the spotlight article either on their own website or blog, or also from their social media accounts. It does kind of give the appearance that they're a bigger company than they might be if they are a smaller company, by showing their followers, any prospects, that they do have some third-party websites, external resources talking about them, covering them, all that sort of stuff. And then also it would help these businesses stand out from their competition, especially if their competition is also listed on your website. This would be a huge selling point that you could provide to your members. If you're going to be reaching out to any individually, you can say, hey, by the way, we have X number of businesses in your same industry also listed on your website. And from there, they can continue to link out to the spotlight article from their own online properties. They could link to it from their profile on your website within your directory. Overall, though, the goal of this would be to get some more eyeballs on these companies, get them in front of new prospects, get new customers, and generate more revenue. And we'll dive into some best practices and ways to make these articles more effective.
And just an aside for this, I guess in the lingo in the industry is this is a paid editorial. You can Google it and learn all about it. It's a paid editorial, and the reason companies like this, it's a little bit more organic than an explicit paid advertisement or banner ad on like the sidebar of your site. So it has more of an organic feel, and obviously it's spotlighting the business, putting them in a positive light. And so it's definitely something you can do for free or as a paid service for your members. And we'll cover those, like David said, in just a moment.
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue into this slide here, what elements to actually include in these articles. We were looking for some example articles that we could share with you all in this presentation, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. But as we were looking for some examples and samples out there, a lot of them really stopped at the basic info, this first point here, information about the business, its history, and what exactly it is that the business offers. It really doesn't make for an engaging or enjoyable read. And if you're able to include some of these additional elements that we list here, not only will it make for a better experience from the reader's perspective, it will have a better shot at getting new customers, new prospects through the door of these businesses. And it will also make it feel, like Jason said, less as a paid editorial and more of an organic article written about this company. So you can do those things by including high quality images and videos. This will depend on what resources you have available to you and what multimedia the businesses themselves have available online that you can pick from. But including high quality images and videos, maybe even a podcast or an audio interview with the business owner, things like that. The multimedia element really makes these articles much more consumable and much easier to share on other forms of online properties like YouTube, Instagram, if you're using TikTok, things like that. Also, customer testimonials. This is a huge one when it comes to making the article feel less like a paid advertisement. When somebody sees a featured business or a spotlighted business or anything like that, instinctively they might assume that it is a paid advertisement, a paid placement. But if you're able to at least include some customer testimonials, whether those are from the business's listings on your own website or elsewhere online, it will provide some additional social proof that the business is worth checking out for those prospective customers. Also, linking out to the business's website and their social media profiles, in addition to giving readers places to access more information about these businesses, that also does help on the SEO side of things for these businesses when it comes to helping their online profiles and properties. And also including unique and relevant content that appeals to the target audience. So this, again, just goes deeper than just providing the basic business information, their history, things like that. And we have some examples that do a decent job of showing this, asking some kind of obscure or maybe abnormal questions, but that give a little bit more insight into the business itself and the people behind the business as well, and trying to form that emotional or personal connection between the business and the readers to try to get those prospective customers over to them is a really key element, which we'll get to in another slide.
And just also another side to this one of what to include. Look, nobody has time to write content. Nobody wants to write content. It's hard to write content. It's time consuming. So when you figure out that you're going to be offering spotlight articles to your members, whenever you're going to spotlight someone, maybe you have a template and you send it to the member to fill out. So they take care of 80% of all this content for you. They provide you with the customer testimonials, links to their website, so you don't have to go hunting for it yourself. In the next slide, I think we talk about storytelling, but having some boilerplate questions that you want the member to fill out, and then all you need to do is pretty much put that into a cohesive article format for your site, which probably cuts your time by 80% if you can have the member provide this stuff to you up front.
Absolutely. And so going into the power of storytelling, this is an element that we hadn't touched on in any of the previous webinars here. But this is the reason why so many effective commercials or any other sort of advertisements that we might see, this is the reason why those effective advertisements are as effective as they are. They're able to grasp the viewer, the reader's attention and form some sort of emotional connection with them that helps that business kind of stay in the back of the person's mind who's seeing that advertisement. So we always want to keep this in mind when crafting these spotlight articles, how we can actually tell a story and not just lay out the basic business information in an article format that somebody could probably find, just on the business's profile page. Including some sort of story or emotional appeal will help to engage with those potential customers for the business, help immediately build some sort of relationship and connection with them. Will also help these businesses differentiate themselves from their competition, allowing prospective customers to kind of get a peek behind the curtain, see what's actually going on within the business, who's behind it, and shed some light on the business and the people themselves to hopefully get some of those prospective customers, turn them into actual customers. It will also help to capture the reader's attention, inspire them to take action, again, not making it just bland and throwing out the basic business information out there. Creating that emotional connection is really the important thing here. Anybody can write an article just including the general information of a business, its history. But at the end of the day, our business members are paying for is to get more customers and increase their revenue. And also for us, we want to continue to be able to sell these spotlight articles because it's an additional stream of revenue for us. And we're not going to be able to continue to sell these spotlight articles if it turns out that they're not being effective. So we do want to do everything we can to make these articles effective and bring more business over to the businesses and the companies listed within our directories. And then also through storytelling, we can more effectively communicate the company's message and their values more effectively. As time goes on, people do tend to care a little bit more about what values certain companies have. And so being able to sprinkle that into the article as well is also an important element.
Fantastic. Who wants to have some fun? Use the raise your hand feature. We're going to sideline from these slides for just a second. And going to the storytelling, yeah, raise your hands, guys. Let me know that you're there for a second. We're going to do something a little bit of fun. And like we said in the previous slide, collecting this information up front, like their images, their social media links. And for storytelling, if we can have them answer a preset number of questions about their business to help tell that story, then we just have them basically fill out a questionnaire and we turn that into an article. Okay, we got a lot of hands up. Let's go and use ChatGPT real quick and see if they can give us some articles. I know everyone's been hearing about this on the news, so this would be a great way to show you guys how it works. So we can say, I am writing a spotlight article about a local business and want to ask them 10 questions, the story of how they started their business. I want to ask emotional questions. Let's just send that. We could probably write a better input. Let's see if it can give us, give me 10 questions to ask the business for my blog article. All right. 10 emotional questions you can ask to help the story of a local business. What inspired you to start this business and what was driving the force behind it? Can you share the moment you realized you wanted to turn your passion into a business? How do you overcome any challenges or obstacles during the initial stages of starting the business? How was your business impacted? How has the business impacted your personal and professional life? How do you stay connected with your customers? And wow, these are great questions. So ChatGPT is a great way to get ideas to help you do your work faster and smarter as a website owner, an online marketer, and more. So these are great questions. You can see I put a simple input in here, basically based on what this storytelling slide is sharing. So if you never saw what ChatGPT can do, I've been blown away by it, and that was a lot of fun. All right, let's move on with the slides here. Measuring the success of a spotlight article. David, I'll pass it back over to you on this one here.
Awesome, thanks. Love seeing the stuff that ChatGPT can generate there. So measuring the success of a spotlight article, as I mentioned, we do want these articles to be successful in bringing new customers and generating more revenue to these businesses. So how can we effectively share that these articles do actually work to help sell these to the businesses listed in our directories? Well, the first and probably most obvious way is to actually track the article's impact. This can be a little difficult to do because ultimately we're going to have to rely on the businesses themselves to let us know if they've seen an uptick in customers, engagement, interest, anything like that. But on our end, we can monitor the engagement and feedback. Like if we have the comments feature turned on our articles, we can see if anybody's leaving comments. We can see if it's been shared at all on social media. If we're sharing it, we can see what kind of engagement our posts are getting, or if the business themselves are sharing it, what kind of engagement they're getting on their social profiles. We can also, if we're using, any website analytic tools like Google Analytics, we can see how many page views and article views is a feature itself that's included in BD, but we can see how many people are actually viewing the article, where they're coming from, where they're going to after viewing our article. If maybe they're going to the business's website or their Instagram profile or whatever other links we may have included in the Spotlight article. We can kind of track what sort of engagement we're getting on these articles. We can share those statistics with our members when we're trying to sell these Spotlight articles to them, to let them know that it is effective. The increase in revenue or new customers, that'll obviously vary greatly depending on the business, what it is they're offering, their products, services, prices, everything like that. But I think the key here is what kind of engagement we're getting on these spotlight articles from all the different online properties that the article may be accessible from. Another thing, if you are making some sort of videos or doing an audio interview like a podcast with the business owners, anything like that, the views, the likes, the comments, everything like that on those posts would be another statistic to share with the businesses. And then also for us, understanding how these articles are being consumed and received by our readers and everyone else online, that can also help us understand how better to improve these articles. Maybe certain elements aren't necessary. Maybe we find out that, embedding some posts that the businesses have made on their Instagram account or a video that the businesses put out, maybe we find that those embedded multimedia elements are getting a lot of hits through our article. So that would let us know that we want to do a better job of including as much multimedia elements as possible. So there's a lot of benefits. It can be a little tedious to kind of go through the numbers and everything and dig in and see how certain things are performing, but it certainly is a benefit if we do have good numbers to share those numbers with our members when trying to sell them on these spotlight articles and letting us know how we can better improve them in the future.
Yes, that's a really good point. I'll tell you the truth, to be honest. Half the members are going to ask you, what can I expect from this article? Half the members could care less. They don't have any online presence. And if your site is industry specific, they just want an article where they can look in the shiny mirror and see a handsome article about their business there. And they can point to that article, on their website or whenever they're trying to sell clients on their end. So some people might not even care about how many social shares and views and things like that. They just need some type of an asset online that speaks highly of their business, and just that in of itself will be enough for the business. So you're going to have two bags of people: those who want to see the ROI and the numbers and all that, and people who just want to see a nice article about themselves online. So don't sweat it too much about the analytics, but if you're able to and you do have good analytics, then that's definitely certainly good to share with the members.
Absolutely, especially if we have a local business directory, smaller local, especially if they're brick and mortar stores or businesses, they typically don't have much, if any, of an online presence. So at the very least, having just one article written about them would be beneficial. So actually selling the spotlight articles to the businesses, how do we convince them to actually purchase these and pay us to write these articles about them? First and foremost, we have to help them understand the importance of investing in their online presence, that it is valuable to have more than just business listing or profile on our website and maybe one or two social media accounts that they might have, but actually having additional articles written about them, giving some more insight to potential customers on the business itself, the people behind it, what kind of impact that can have on their marketing efforts as a whole, as well as ultimately their revenue goals. Also, we want to provide them with examples of successful spotlight articles. And if you haven't done this before, I would recommend, picking maybe 2 or 3 business members in your directory and just writing articles for them about them for free. Let them know that either you're going to do it if you need some more information from them, or once you've already published it, send it to them. This way, you already have some examples that you can share when you do actually start selling these to your other members. You're also going to want to position this as a valuable marketing tool for the businesses. It's kind of an evergreen marketing tool that will last forever on the website. You can let them know that you're not going to unpublish it. It's not a limited time thing. Once it's on there, it'll be on there forever, and they can continue to share it, repurpose it, send it to any prospective clients that they might have who are looking for additional information about their business. Things like that. And then in terms of ways to try to sell more of these or get more members signed on with Spotlight articles, we can offer them discounts if they purchase this multiple times. Maybe you want to have some sort of package where you can either do a Spotlight article or a video or a podcast interview, things like that, kind of bulk purchase discounts. And then you can also include these as kind of free add-ons with your highest tier premium plans. That might help help get businesses in the door, either at your higher tier plans or eventually upgrade from either your free or basic plans to one of your premium plans if you're including this for free with those plans.
As you were talking, David, like two different spotlight plans came in my head, like a simple spotlight and a super spotlight. And a simple spotlight is exactly that. It's just a shorter article. So maybe you just send a shorter questionnaire to those businesses at a lower price point, like a point where more people can opt for that one. Then you have a super spotlight at a higher tiered price, which is basically a longer article. And maybe you include it in your newsletter. You're going to share that article on your social media and things like that. A lot of the price for this stuff is going to depend on your reach as a business, how many followers your business has, subscribers and things like that. But if you're just starting out, make these at entry level prices where you're not pushing people away. Obviously, having a higher perceived value, as David is mentioning, is positioning these articles as a valuable marketing tool. You create that perceived value. And yeah, you can, again, you can have different plans for your spotlight articles. Just send them shorter questionnaires to fill out, or just write shorter articles based on the tier of the spotlight article. So great points here. With the spotlight articles, just like any other service you're going to be selling through your website, it is the perceived value that you create that it's going to motivate and compel people to want to opt for those additional services, marketing tools, and things of that nature. So with that, we found some spotlight articles on the internet, some examples of them from varying different degrees of business sizes as far as who's hosting these spotlight articles. Let's dive right into it. The first one we saw was on Bank of America's website. Well, they're doing stories on small businesses. They're trying to appeal to small businesses. So they did a spotlight on Bear Bottle. Let's see, brewing success, how tapping a community of beer lovers drives Bear Bottle forward. So they did a spotlight article on these guys. There's some pictures of them at their, brewery. And that's it. And that's by Bank of America. Now, they probably didn't pay for this. Bank of America needs this type of content, so they probably hand selected them. We have another one here. It's a really small WordPress blog, Everyday Dog Magazine, that we found. So it's a dog magazine, and they did a spotlight on a company that creates dog IDs. It's straight up says right there, Business Spotlight. And look here, we see some questions. Why did you decide to start this business? Kind of the same questions ChatGPT was printing out. What makes your business stand out? So you can send this questionnaire and then kind of just edit their answer, so to fix any grammatical errors and things like that. And you don't have to do any heavy lifting. The business is happy, the website gets content, and the visitors get something new to consume from your website. So it's a triple win for everyone. And then we also clicked here to the Advertise with Us button on this site. And let's see here, Advertise with Us. So they do website ads, and here's the Business Spotlight. Give your readers an in-depth look at your business. And again, they're just sending over the questionnaire, and they put a price on this. There's some sort of a perceived value. And you can, have a page, simple page like this with just a title and a description, or you can lay it out with as many icons and images to really make it look special. But you can see you can just have something just as simple as this on your site. Another example, well, who doesn't love dining out? So this is lamag.com, the 9 best Chinese restaurants in LA. Yeah, sometimes people pay to be listed on these best of lists. So we can see here, they've created a best of list for Chinese restaurants in Los Angeles. And here we can see they've embedded an Instagram of this business, Sea Harbor Seafood. And with the Embedly tool, that's part of the web page builder, the text editor in Brilliant Directories, you can embed things like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook posts right into the article to enrich them quite a bit. And oh, guess what? Interview with Jason Halusum from Brilliant Directories. We didn't pay to be featured here, but someone that does podcast features businesses, and they invited us to join, and they did a spotlight on Brilliant Directories, and they basically asked us questions, how did the business start? And things like that. And they did it in a podcast format with an accompanying article. So they got double media out of this. And we were happy to participate and be a part of it. They have a link called Bookings here. So if you want to get on their podcast, welcome to my Future Business Show. Get in front of your best audience. So again, they're offering the ability for businesses to get spotlighted on their website. This show has a a focus on business owners, software developers, authors, and entrepreneurs. Your site might have a different focus, but you can create simple pages like this that outline the benefits and what they can expect, and the pricing options as well. So yeah, those are some examples of Spotlight articles. Lots of different formats and ways that you can go about this and tackle this, but I would highly recommend doing it on your site. It creates content for the site. It makes your members feel good. It makes other members want a Spotlight article about them. It gives you content to share on social media, and it gives your visitors something to read as well. So again, you get the triple win for this content creation tip here. And yeah, let's recap is basically everything that we just said. Investing in a Spotlight article can help businesses increase their online presence. And yeah, make the Spotlight articles effective by including relevant information about the businesses. Just send them questionnaires, tell a compelling story, and measure the success of the article with some insights for yourself or for the person who purchased the Spotlight article.